Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video I'll be taking a look at Jellicent with its new move Surf for the Open Great League. Jellicent is weak to Grass, Electric, Dark and Normal, so I chose to pair it with Shadow Dragonite and Registeel for this team. This video also kind of turned into a showcase of just what an absolute monster Shadow Dragonite is in the Open Great League currently. And overall this team is just really strong and a lot better than I thought it would be. And Jellicent specifically turned out to be a lot better than I thought it would be. Going right into the first game, we lead into a Trevenant and they insta-swap to an Umbreon because the lead was a good matchup for us. I stay in for a bit to load up an energy for Dragonite, then I swap in my Registeel. It serves two things. First, I get energy in Dragonite, and Dragonite doesn't like being down energy against Trevenant if we were to see that matchup again in the future. And it leaves Umbreon in a range where I might be able to take it out with only one chance move with Registeel. So we see it throws a couple of foul plays on Registeel, and then it shields the Focus Blast. It goes up to back foul play, so I'm thinking I want to CMP tie it on the next one, but he swaps into his Trevenant, which is a very good move by him. So I throw my Focus Blast into Trevenant and saves the energy on his Umbreon. So I swap in Dragonite, and I go for the Dragon Claw right before he gets to his Shadow Ball. Takes out the Trevenant, and he brings back in the Umbreon. I go right for the Superpower, because I don't think he's going to shield it when he only has one left, but he does. He goes up to 2 foul plays, and this is a little bit awkward. I don't really want to shield it. And I kind of want him to burn the energy, because Jellicent can handle Umbreon if Umbreon has no energy. Obviously, I'm up 2 shields. So yeah, now he's energy dry, which is perfect. He swaps in the Stunfisk. And this is one of the matchups where you really like to have Surf, because Surf plus, like 2 Surfs plus Hex is enough to take out the Stunfisk in this matchup. Whereas before it would be a lot more awkward, because you had to throw Shadow Balls. And Surf is also just a lot quicker than Shadow Ball and Ice Beam. And I'm not even going to talk about Bubble Beam because it's a trash move. And you see, Jellicent just takes it out without having to spend a shield. I probably should have shielded the Earthquake though, because it does more damage than the Foul Play. But I wasn't aware of that at the time. But the good thing to know for later, that an Earthquake does more damage than a Foul Play. At this point, just take out the Umbreon with Jellicent. Jellicent is an Umbreon counter confirmed, as they say. It's not, in case you're wondering. I was joking. Next game, we lead into an Altaria. This is a bad lead, because Altaria is just a lot more bulky, but you can get a shield from the Altaria. And I like to just grab the shield and then let myself get farmed down, because at low rank, people like to keep switch if they get it. So I can just make him throw all of his energy into Altaria or into Registeel, use Registeel as a sponge, farm up on some energy. See, I have a sub cannon loaded, and after the sky attack, I can swap in my Jellicent and farm the Altaria down. Perfect. Now we have energy everywhere. It brings in Swampert, which is not ideal for him. So I'm thinking, if he brings Swampert into a Jellicent, what does he have in the back? You see I throw the Shadow Ball there? Does a lot. This is a safe shield as well, because even if he baits me, he's not going to get to an Earthquake afterwards. So just farm him down, and in the back, yep, he was just core broken by Jellicent in the back. Medicham can't do anything. This is one of the main reasons why Jellicent is actually quite good in this meta, because it breaks the Stunfisk Medicham core, which you see all over the place, and it's really a hard counter to Medicham, and there are so many Medichams. Next game, we lead into a Noctowl. This is a very good lead, I would say. You probably don't think it is, but it is. Because one Dragon Claw is enough to take out the Noctowl after you've done this much Dragon Breath damage. As you see, I go up to right before it gets to the second Sky attack. At this point, one Dragon Claw is enough. He shields it, and then you can just CMP tie him for the next one. Of course, it does give the opponent a chance to catch, but this particular opponent doesn't. It brings in a Sableye, meaning I have to stay in because I really don't want my Jellicent to see Sableye. So, but look at how much damage Dragonite has just done to this Sableye. And we grabbed the last shield too. I'm thinking I might want to debuff whatever is in the back, so I want to shield my Registeel. Yeah, he does get to another one. Then farms up. And swaps into a Ferrothorn. Yikes. So we throw the Focus Blast. How do we get out of this? It does a lot. But he still has that Sableye in the back with energy. So I allow him to get to a Thunder. I assume it's a Thunder. On my Registeel because I know I can tank it. I save all the energy. And then I bring in Jellicent. And I farm the Ferrothorn down. Get energy on my Jellicent. And yeah, the opponent quits the game. I really like that way of playing it. Next game, we lead into a Swampert. They insta-swap into a Froslass, so I have to swap in my Registeel. But this is where my IVs come in handy on my Registeel. Because I have a very bad Registeel. Usually a Zap Cannon wouldn't leave a Froslass in a range where you can farm it down if you have a good Registeel. But because my Registeel is so bad, it does. So now I only have to take one more Shadow Ball. And then I can farm it, the Froslass down afterward and come up with a lot of energy. If you have a good Registeel, you're probably going to have to find a different way of playing this matchup. Although you're probably also going to live 2 Shadow Balls, so you don't have to shield the first one, I don't think. I get to Focus Blast on the Swampert. And they timed their move very well there, over farming perfectly to throw their Hydro Cannon. And then they swap in an Alolan Ninetales, and I'm down a shield. This is a little bit awkward. But this is where Surf also comes in handy on Jellicent. Also, because I only have one shield, they are less incentivized to bait. Or they bait less often. Usually, on average. Not every time. Sometimes they do bait. But yeah, 2 Surfs is enough to take out the Ninetales plus the Hex damage. So that's very nice. Whereas before it was just a nightmare. Because one Shadow Ball just leaves it in an awkward health range. It gets to another Dazzling Gleam. Jellicent can live this kind of comfortably, but I'm very aware. Notice here, just want to say, notice how I wait when I throw my fast move. I wait until I see the second Powder Snow animation before I throw my Surf because I really don't want them to catch it. And then as there's a little bit of wait from me, and then so I can see that they swap in their Swampert, so I don't throw my Surf into that. And then I can save the Surf for Ninetales instead. They had to throw their Weather Ball on my Dragonite, otherwise would get to move and kill them or take them out. Next game, we lead into an Alolan Ninetales. Yikes. Swap in Jellicent immediately, and they swap in Sableye. More yikes. This is pretty unwinnable. But also, if I don't shield this, I think they're gonna get to another foul play on my Dragonite, so I kind of want to try and leave them in a range where they're not gonna get to a move on my Dragonite and where we're still even in shields. So I shield, they shield, and I hope they don't know the counts for Surf, and they don't. So they overfarm too much, thinking they can farm me down, so I actually grab a shield advantage. And at this point, my Dragonite just can't do anything, because it's gonna see that Ninetales. So my only play is to try and sack it and hope that Registeel can sweep in the back. They bring in Alolan Ninetales and they have Swampert in the back. Oh, just RPS. But I'm up a shield. If I call this move correctly, like if I shield an Earthquake or if I call the Hydro Cannon, I have play. I call it and it's an Earthquake. Yikes. But Shadow Dragonite on Shadow Alolan Ninetales. How much does a superpower do? Is this enough? No. And we lose. This was actually the end of a 10-game win streak. 9 games in a row with this team specifically. And I almost got 2 5-0s in a row with this. Well, but didn't quite happen. Next game into a Pidgeot. Another very good lead. In my opinion. Go for the Dragon Claw. We just about outpaced to the first one and to the second one, because it takes 7 and then 6 wing attacks for the Pidgeot. So that's 26 turn in total. Then I go for the CMP tie on the second Dragon Claw. And if he shields this, which he does, I think, no, I can just let my Dragonite go and then lock on the Pidgeot all the way down. So that's what I go for. Get a lot of energy, and I have a shield advantage too. I think this is worth it. And I get up to a Zap Cannon, and then I swap out, because I'm gonna swap out regardless, because I'm debuffed, and I want to clear that debuff. And they bring in a Jellicent, which is very yikes. It takes 16 turns for Registeel to get to a Zap Cannon, so it is there now, and it throws the Zap Cannon immediately. I don't think one Shadow Ball is gonna be enough, plus the Hex. So let's count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's not quite there. So I can throw one Surf, and now he's at a Zap Cannon. So I can throw the second Surf on CMP. Instead of throwing the Shadow Ball and allowing him to get to a Zap Cannon, I just get to 2 Surfs and take it out instead. And then it's a Medicham in the back. Good game. Next game, we lead into a Froslass. Yikes. Very yikes. But he stays in against my Registeel to get some energy before throwing in a Mud Boy. Even more yikes. Oh. But this is Earthquake only does about 67% to Registeel, so I think I'm gonna be able to live it. But I have bad IVs, and he has bad IVs, so I'm not able to live it. Just about, I don't think. That was a very, very close call. And I would have gotten to a Focus Blast if I did live it. But yeah, we get to farm the Quagsire all the way down, get to a Dragon Claw. But this Froslass has a lot of energy, and even Jellicent doesn't really want to see it. But we grab a shield. He throws some bad timing. He's at 3 Powder Snows now, I think. We shield it. Can't really let a Shadow Ball through. Goes for another Shadow Ball, or I assume a Shadow Ball. Shield it again. And he brings in a Pelipper. So we go for a Shadow Ball. This does a lot of damage. And I go for the bait. I think I might be able to hex him down afterwards, even if he lets it go. But he doesn't. We get the shield. And he throws a Hurricane. Do we live this? Jellicent is actually quite tanky. We do live it. We save the Surf on the Jellicent. Bring in the Dragonite. And because Froslass is dry, we actually outpace the Froslass to a move and overcome this team that was pretty hard countery. And Dragonite is a Froslass counter. Confirmed. Another Altaria lead in the next game. Again, same game plan. Although I do try to CMP tie him here. I know it takes 15 turns to get to the Sky Attack. But he doesn't fall for it. So I'm just gonna let my Dragonite go down. Use Registeel as a sponge. At higher elo, this probably won't work, because they usually would just save all the energy on Altaria and swap out. But at lower elo, yeah, it's a pretty safe play. Now it's energy dry. I have some energy on Registeel, but because it's energy dry, I can bring in Jellicent, farm it all the way down. And what do they bring in? They bring in a Stunfisk? Wait, what? Trainer. This is a bad matchup. What the hell does he have in the back? Oh, well, that makes sense. He is just completely core broken by Jellicent. Shields the Shadow Ball. Goes up to the Psychic. I'm thinking I'm just gonna shield my Jellicent. He pop baits me. It's not gonna matter, but it always hurts to get pop baited. And then he goes for a move without even going up to the Psychic. So I can just no shield it, no problem. Go for the Shadow Ball. I don't want to undercharge it too much to like allow him to get to a Psychic, so I don't really risk it. But yeah. Then we get to a Servant on the Stunfisk, and Jellicent just takes out the entire back line, which is very cool. shield the Rock Slide. I do think I can live it, but I want to allow Jellicent to sweep the team. And I also just catch the Rock Slide for no reason really. Just to show my opponent that I knew exactly where he was, I guess. Next game, we lead into a Shadow Swampert. Another good lead. Dragonite has been picking up all the good leads. He swaps in a Lickitung. I stay in to get some energy on my Dragonite and to put the Lickitung into Focus Blast range. Usually you have to spend 2 charge moves on Registeel to take out a Lickitung, but with the Dragon Breath damage you put it into a Focus Blast range, which is very nice. Plus you get the energy on Dragonite. But also, Go Battle League is where we practice, so let's go for an undercharge. Did we undercharge it too much? Maybe. If he gets to 2 more Body Slams, this might get quite awkward. Is he gonna get there? Is he? No! We undercharged that perfectly and come out with 100 energy on Registeel. That was a little bit too risky. Get the shield from Swampert, bring back in Dragonite. This is resisted, but Shadow on Shadow, it's gonna hurt. So I'm okay with spending the shield. Then he brings in Charizard. I go for a Dragon Claw. And then I go for a catch. But very importantly, I don't catch on the charge move. I catch 1 turn before the charge move, so that I get an entire hex through as I catch it, which can be very useful when you when you have a 3-turn move or like a 4-turn or 5-turn move to get an entire fast move through. That was the last battle for today. I think overall Jellicent has a few too many very bad matchups against Noctowl, Lantern, Sableye that you see a lot. But if people bring as much Stunfisk Medicham as they have recently, I think it has a role to play in this meta. Although I do think Sableye and Trevenant are probably the 2 main ghosts in Open Great League still. But in Theme Cups in the future, maybe in Ultra League, yeah, it's not bad. I also made a video with Fairy with Whimsicott where I'm just landing so many nukes that I would definitely recommend watching right here. Other than that, I just want to thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.